Continue now our lead story, the huge controversy of the Cliven Bundy case in Nevada. In addition to the factor, one of the programs that was very skeptical about Mr. Bundy was the Glenn Beck radio show.
If he really thinks better off as slaves picking cotton and having a family life, if he really thinks that slaves had a family life, just that shows you how unhinged from reality this guy is.
In fact, Jon Stewart actually called Beck a voice of reason in the case. That must have hurt Stewart. With us now, Basil Schmeichel, former associate of Hillary Clinton's, and Mike Gallagher, nationally syndicated radio talk show host. So, Gallagher, you didn't get on the Bundy bandwagon, and why not?
Well, it's what you said about false idols. You better be very careful.
But did you know in the beginning? Did you? Because
no one knew. No one knew.
Well, then what held you back from jumping on this guy's bandwagon?
A guy who says, I don't think the federal government exists, and I don't want to pay the fees I owe.
All right, so that kind of rhetoric in the beginning raised a red flag for you. But I'm sure some of your listeners, and correct me if I'm wrong, came in and said, listen, this guy's a hero, he's Paul Revere, he's X, Y, and Z. And how did you respond to those callers?
It broke my heart that even today, after his ugly racist comments came to light, some are still defending him. And that's wrong. I mean,
why are they defending him?
They think he's the last man standing, is the last rancher standing. I'm like, wait a minute, that has nothing to do with his ugly comments. You don't have to denounce denounceable comments, but you can understand why people don't like, the Bureau of Land Management coming in with SWAT teams.
Right, but it's two separate issues.
Right.
I mean, look, the land management, I think everybody says they overreacted. You would agree with that, would you, Basil?
I'm not sure I would agree with that.
Well, wait. Say you were in business for yourself, as Mr. Bundy is. Okay, and you're in a controversy, okay? And then you got armed guys surrounding your house when there's other ways to do it, and they're seizing your cattle. They're seizing. All we're saying here is this necessary? And I'm sure you would say really isn't necessary because they pulled back.
Well, listen, if I were owing the government $1 million and I stood in my apartment with a gun waiting for them to come, that would be a huge problem. And I think the issue here is people are looking at the fact that you have these armed vigilantes protecting this guy. And if I'm the government, I would be concerned about that, because if I had cattle grazing on that land and they're not supposed to be on that land, the federal government has a right to do it. I may not agree with them,
but
they're within their rights to do that.
You're a fair man, correct?
I try to be.
Did you think my talking points memo was fair?
I think it's fair.
Okay.
I think it's fair.
All right, so let's be fair to the men who rallied to Mr. Bundy. They aren't armed vigilantes. They didn't take any action at all, and they have the right to carry. So what they were doing was protesting. And I'm sure you would agree that protesting is a legitimate form of America, right?
Guns blazed, I would have a problem with that.
Well, they have a legal right to carry guns.
I understand the legal right to carry, but what I'm also saying is that if you are the government, and I certainly have concerns. There are a lot of people that have concerns about government's overreach and governmental authority.
And that's what this was.
And part of it is that. But at the same time, I think that if you have individuals who are sitting on the sidelines around this guy, standing on bridges, guns drawn and pointed, that raises red flags.
They believe in him, though, and they believe in what he stands for. And what people don't understand is why the federal government doesn't react with the same sort of force over the problem of illegal immigrants. I mean, you've got more of a show of force over cattle grazing fees than you have people who are streaming across our border. And Americans don't understand that.
All right, I'm not sure that's fair. I mean, under the Obama administration, more illegals have been deported than the other two presidents combined.
Yeah, but you don't see the kind of, as
you don't
Ted
see
Cruz
anything.
puts it, you see nothing.
But you don't see it because it's just not in view. But let's get to the overall crux of the matter. The national media, all right, was gleeful when Bundy said this. Gleeful. They said, yes. Yes. Now he's a nut. Now we don't like him anyway, all right? Now we got him.
Right.
Was that the right reaction? I feel sorry for this 67-year-old man. I feel sorry for him.
I don't feel sorry for him at all. We should not be taking...
You don't feel sorry that he's that ignorant? You don't feel sorry for another human being who's that ignorant?
Because I don't think that he is savable, if that's the right word.
Really? Are you a Christian?
I don't think. Yes, I am.
Oh, come on now.
Yes, I am.
Everybody is redemption.
But we can. You know, everybody is entitled to and subject to redemption. I absolutely agree with that. Do I feel sorry that at 67 years old he is
that
he has spent his life believing something and will go on TV with armed individuals to espouse that belief? No, I don't feel sorry for him.
He should be pitied. He should absolutely be pitied.
I feel bad for him.
And it's like any old crackpot racist. You say, my gosh, you know, what's wrong with you in your life?
But that doesn't mean that I'm going to sit there and pity him.
Well, I don't think you have to defend him.
No.
But I think we should all feel terrible for him and his family because, number one, he's embarrassed himself and his family forever.
Right.
You know?
And it festers with people who are racist, Bill. This is something they feed on, too.
See, I don't even think... I know this is going to be kind of outrageous. I don't think he's a racist. I think he's ignorant. I think if he
racism is ignorance.
That's true. But if he spent 3 days with you, Basil, I think you and him would be friends.
No.
I think he would... Wait. Maybe you couldn't forgive him. But I think he would like you. No, and I don't think he would be...
I don't think so.
I do. I do.
I think if you're coming up with a Hollywood text about how...
No, I like Basil. I think he's a good guy. I think he would like him.
This is not going to be the sitcom.
The Jefferson Circa 24.
Would you give him a chance? Would you try to talk to him?
Why would I want to talk to him?
To save him.
Win him
no,
over.
I'm not going to save him.
You're not going to save him.
That's a job for members of the cloth, not me.
All right.
Mr. Chance.
And I went to Catholic school for 2 years. I'm sorry.
Now, what a reality show, Bill.
All right.
Basil and Cliven.
He'd like Basil, I'm telling you.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, he would.
I'm sure of it.
We like it.
I'd make him like you. All right. There we go. All right, guys. Thanks very much.